first saw Bitcoin 2012 and I wrote that macroeconomic strategy paper on it. It was the first one ever written about Bitcoin, how to value it. And I said, listen, I think this thing could be worth, if you value it in the same way you value gold, this thing's worth $1 million.
That's right.
And let's assume I'm an idiot, discount myself by 90%. It's worth $100,000 and it was trading at $200. I'm like, this is the best macro risk reward I've ever seen in my entire career. And so I bought it then, as did many of my kind of global macro investor people at the time. I wrote it up and it went up 5x very shortly afterwards. And then collapsed 87%. My time horizon, however, was long. I'm like, this is an option. It could go to zero because it was still very early days, but I think it could be worth $100,000 and this should be a 10-year bet. So that was the idea. So like goes down 87%. I didn't have a massive amount, a few percent of my portfolio in it. It's like, fine, okay, we'll see. By May of 2017, I was up 10x from my original entry. Having seen it go down 87%, I was now 10x from my entry. I'm like, okay. And then there was a lot of confusion in the space about forking wars and stuff I didn't understand. And I could see it was like ramping up. I'm like, I'm just going to take profits. Great trade. I thought, I'm a god. I'm like George Soros here. I've just nailed it. It then goes up another 10x into this frenzy into the end of the year, that spectacular bubble of 2017. And I was fine with it. I'm like, I made 10x. I'll leave it to the next person. You know, Novo became the billionaire out of that trade. I didn't. And then the market fell and it did its usual 85% round trip. And we continued to educate people via Real Vision about it. I still thought it was but I hadn't lost my faith in the idea. What I'd done is screwed up my time horizon. I didn't think that I should have kept it for the 10 years, but I didn't. So then, all well and good, I see the pandemic, crypto collapses, I buy back in at 6,500 and still hold it to this day. It went up 10x, come down, going back up. Great. Made a lot of money from it. And then about a year ago, I went back and said, what happens if I just kept my original bet, which was much smaller? I'd have made 5 times as much money. And I traded it well. I bought it low, sold it high, bought it into a dip. I would have made 5 times as much money. And then I thought, I always show the log chart, these business cycles in the log chart. I'm like, what happens if I just added my original investment every time it got to one of these business cycle lows? I would have made 25 times as much. I'm like, I completely screwed it up, even though I did well from it. So this time around, I knew we were going to get a down cycle. I didn't get the top. I thought it was going to go higher, whatever. It's irrelevant because it's the down cycle where you add that makes you all the money. So I spent all of last year buying Solana, Ethereum into the massive sell-offs because then you compound much faster. So you should be embracing the volatility if you've got a long-term view. If your view is 1 year, 1 year, 3 years, 3 months, it's much harder to deal with. It's so volatile. But when you just zoom out, use the logarithmic trend and don't freak yourself out, which is why I've tried to be the voice of reason on Twitter when everyone's freaking out. It's like, we've all seen, FTX goes bust. Yeah, Mt. Gox went bust. Mm-hmm. We've seen this, we've seen that. It's just noise. Has the adoption of this technology changed or not? No, keep going. And that was it. So it's a psychology change of understanding long time horizons. And I found that long time horizons are a superpower.
Yeah.
Because most people can't do it.
Yeah. Wait, did you ever actually look at what the actual number figure would have been?
I did, and it's not good.
You don't have to share. I probably have time for one more question, and maybe I'm looking at our notes, and again, so great to have you on.
Right, I'm going to ask you a question about AI, because you asked me that question, the acceleration of AI, before this one. This is even faster than crypto's adoption, because it's built on top of the internet rails that already exist, and there's zero barrier to entry apart from just paying OpenAI. And then Microsoft are going to put into every single one of their products. It's going to get to 1 billion people by by mid next year. So the acceleration of this technology plus the improvements of the technology itself are exponential squared kind of. It's like we've never seen anything like this. No technology has ever improved at this rate. So it becomes very difficult to forecast.
Yeah.
Because we just don't know.
Hey, money talkers, grab your virtual snorkels because we're diving deep into the thrilling world of cryptocurrencies. I'm your crypto guide, and today's expedition takes us through mysterious Bitcoin whales, SEC huddles, and wild waves of the Binance saga. Let's roll. Crypto detectives, we've got a whale of a story. Mark Davis spilled the crypto tea about a mystery whale, one Kitch, amassing over 10,000 BTC in November. Cue the speculation. Is it institutional giants prepping for the spot Bitcoin ETF green light, or maybe ETF filers gearing up for approval? Regardless, this whale's underwater stash screams bullish vibes, hinting at a crypto roller coaster on the horizon. Let's talk money, folks. The SEC's on a gossip spree with crypto big shots like Grayscale and BlackRock about spot Bitcoin ETFs. Grayscale is aiming to turn GBTC into a spot Bitcoin ETF, while BlackRock is hashing out in-kind versus cash redemption models. The SEC is playing poker with Hashdex, Bitwise, Vanek, Fidelity, Invesco, and 21 Shares too. But no clear approval hints yet. The suspense is real. Now the Binance drama. Keiko's report spills the beans. Coinbase's stock, Swing, skyrockets 75% in a month, gaining 34% more market share, especially during European and Asian trading hours. Bybit is also riding the Binance wave, boosting its market share by 50%. But wait, Binance ain't sinking. It's afloat with 4% decline, still holding almost 40% of the market share. Despite the regulatory storm, Binance's liquidity reigns supreme in Bitcoin and altcoins. And there you have it, money talkers. From mysterious whales accumulating riches to SEC talks shaping the ETF saga and Binance's market ripple, the crypto sea is churning. What are your thoughts on these crypto sagas? Let's continue our discussion with Raoul Pal.
We're building an entirely new system. We're building an entirely new structure of the economy. And the fourth turning was never going to be what people wanted. It's what happened. You know, a lot of people think of the fourth turning and they want to go back to the 1950s, and other people want some other variation of it. But what's happening is in front of our eyes. We're building an entire parallel financial system at record speed in front of us, built on top of the internet. And then we've just built this knowledge monster on top, this new kind of God. So within this is a new system. How that works, I have no idea yet. I can see the crypto side, that's pretty straightforward. How the rest of it works, this is the fourth turning and this is the answer for the other side of it. And like all fourth turnings, it's going to create an enormous amount of friction, fear, misunderstanding, but eventually optimism. The journeyman is all about my journey and taking you on my journey to that nexus at the kind of center of crypto, macro, and the exponential age of technology. You see, there's an extraordinary amount going on, and there's a lot of mega themes going on. And this is really to help you filter out the noise and understand where we're all going. Now, nobody's got all the answers, but I'm trying to find them out as we go, and I want you to come along with me. I've been spending a lot of time in my kind of research publication, Global Macro Investor, and also on the Real Vision Pro Crypto tier, where I'm Macro Insiders there with my colleague Julian Bittle. And what I've been doing at Global Macro Investor for the last 19 years is developing my big picture thesis of how the world works. You see, I look at the world in two different ways. One is using business cycle analysis. That is the ups and downs of the economy. And that tends to be the main driver of asset prices. And that applies to crypto, technology stocks. It also applies to commodities, everything. Bond yields, they all fall into the same business cycle ebbs and flows. Once you understand the business cycle, you understand generally where you are in your investment thesis and what you need to be doing. But more powerful than that are the big secular themes. And the secular themes are what really drives performance in your portfolio. It also happens to be a very, very exciting time for secular themes right now, because we have some of the biggest themes we've ever seen in history. One is the supermassive black hole that is cryptocurrency. This is, again, the fastest adoption of any technology outside of AI the world has ever seen, and it's the fastest growing asset class the world has ever seen, and the best performing asset class the world has ever seen.
BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, has held another meeting with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to discuss its spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund ETF application. The firm has proposed a revised in-kind model for its spot Bitcoin ETF that it believes will resolve the SEC's concerns. The regulator has reportedly indicated that it prefers spot Bitcoin ETFs to use the cash creation method. Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, previously a key figure in the crypto sphere, encountered a stark contrast to his past life at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn. Jean Borrello, a past mob enforcer for the Bonanno crime family, shared insights with journalist Tiffany Fong about the daily challenges SBF faces in prison. Borrello's revelations paint a picture of SBF grappling with threats of extortion and bouts of depression. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.